Welcome to this explainer. What if I told you that inside your body, right this very second, you have a built-in system designed specifically to break down damaged cells, recycle biological waste, and literally hit the brakes on the aging process? It sounds like science fiction, but it's not. It's a biological mechanism that actually won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine back in 2016. But here is the stark reality. Almost everyone is completely misusing it. So today, we're going to break down this incredible mechanism, figure out exactly how it works, and look at how to actually harness it correctly.
So what actually happens inside your body when you fire up this cellular recycling plant for a solid month straight? Let's be real, most people think fasting is just skipping a meal to drop a few pounds. But what's going down at the cellular level is infinitely more complex. The real question we need to answer isn't just whether autophagy works, the science is well settled on that, but what exactly unfolds chronologically inside you when you consistently flip this switch.
To get there, we have a lot of ground to cover. We're going to break down this complex science logically, covering 6 key areas: the cellular recycling system, the impact on major diseases, the 30-day transformation, the crucial mTOR trap, risks and warnings, and exactly how to start today. Let's get right into it.
Part 1. The cellular recycling system, unlocking the body's hidden defense mechanism. To master this process, we first really need to understand the fundamental mechanics of what it actually is.
The word autophagy literally translates from Greek as self-eating, which, sounds kind of terrifying, right? But it's actually your ultimate defense mechanism against aging and disease. It's absolutely not destroying healthy tissue. Instead, think of it like a highly targeted strike force. As time goes on, our cells get bogged down with junk, damaged proteins, sputtering mitochondria, basically cellular garbage. Autophagy is how your body finally flips on the open for business sign at the recycling plant, hunts down that garbage, and completely clears it out.
It really helps to picture this whole thing like a biological seesaw. On one side, you've got AMPK. This is your cellular energy sensor. When you fast, your insulin drops, your body realizes nutrients are scarce, and boom, AMPK activates. The recycling plant is officially open. But on the exact opposite side of that seesaw is mTOR. That's your growth signal. The absolute second your body senses incoming nutrients, mTOR spikes, yelling at your cells to grow, and that totally shuts down the cleanup process. You simply cannot have both running at the same time.
Moving on to Part 2. Impact on major diseases. Clearing the cellular garbage that drives pathology. Because, autophagy is not just about weight loss. It is fundamentally tied to preventing some really serious, life-threatening diseases. When we look at the robust research published in major, top-tier journals like Cell and Nature, a very clear picture emerges. When your cleanup system breaks down, damaged materials just sit there, pile up, and directly pave the way for devastating conditions. Take type 2 diabetes, for example. A huge part of that pathology is the buildup of damaged pancreatic beta cells, the ones responsible for producing insulin. Autophagy actually clears those damaged cells out before they can fail. Same with cancer. There's a crucial protein called Beclin-1 that drives autophagy to remove cellular damage before it has a chance to turn malignant. And in the brain, which is incredibly metabolically active, autophagy is what clears out the misfolded proteins and amyloid beta plaques that are the literal hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. When the cleaning crew goes on strike, disease moves right in.
Which brings us to Part 3, the 30-day transformation, a chronological journey of cellular adaptation. Now, here's a truth you almost never hear. The results of this process are not linear at all. Day 3 is a totally different beast than day 20.
Researchers like Dr. Walter Longo have shown that your body adapts in very distinct stages. Week 1, that's your immediate triage. Your body's just taking out the obvious trash, short-lived, damaged proteins and organelles. But push into week 2, and something amazing kicks in, called mitophagy. This is the selective removal of dead or dying mitochondria, literally swapping out your broken cellular engines for fresh ones. It's massive for improving your metabolic flexibility. Then, by weeks 3 and 4, the systemic changes are profound. Inflammatory markers in your blood drop. Even the hypothalamus in your brain physically adapts to hunger signals, regulating hormones like ghrelin and leptin. So that gnawing, intense hunger you felt in week 1, it just completely vanishes, replaced by clear, incredibly stable energy.
All right, on to Part 4, the crucial mTOR trap, how most fasting routines are ruined. This is, without a doubt, the single biggest mistake people make. They think they're fasting, but they are completely unknowingly sabotaging the whole thing.
You see this literally all the time. People follow the rules, they skip breakfast, drink their water, but then they consume something they assume is harmless, a splash of cream in their coffee.
just one little almond, or a tiny sip of a 10-calorie protein shake. The logic is usually, hey, it's virtually 0 calories, my cells won't even notice. But here's the thing, your biology is not that easily fooled. Remember that mTOR switch we talked about earlier? It is incredibly sensitive to specific nutrients, especially an amino acid called leucine, which is right there in your dairy and your protein.
The harsh reality is that even a single drop of milk brings the entire recycling process to a dead, screeching halt. mTOR spikes, AMPK drops, and your cellular cleanup is instantly over for the day. If you want to keep autophagy running, you have to stick strictly to pure water, black coffee, or plain, unflavored tea during your fasting window. Anything else whatsoever, and you've broken the cycle.
Now let's look at part 5, risks and warnings, the dark side of extreme fasting. We absolutely have to do a safety check right here, because running this system chronically without the proper nutrition can do way more harm than good.
More is definitely not always better in biology. If you push the system way too hard, especially with super long fasts and inadequate protein, your body essentially hits a panic button and starts breaking down your healthy skeletal muscle for energy. That is a massive risk for sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss, especially for anyone over 40. On top of that, type 1 diabetics, anyone with a history of eating disorders, folks with impaired kidney function, and pregnant women should absolutely not be attempting extreme fasting protocols without direct medical supervision. The ultimate goal here is smart, cyclical activation. It is not starvation.
Finally, part 6, how to start today, the practical 16-8 protocol. Let's map out exactly how to safely and effectively weave this into your actual daily life without resorting to any extremes. Based on some brilliant chronobiology research from folks like Dr. Sachidananda Panda, the 16-8 schedule is really the absolute sweet spot for sustainable cellular health. Here's how it works. Step 1, you finish eating all your food for the day by 8 p.m. Step 2, you fast completely, meaning only water, black coffee, or straight tea until noon the very next day. Step 3, you mix in endurance or resistance exercise 3 to 4 times a week. That actually acts synergistically to boost that AMPK activation we want. And step 4, this is absolutely critical to avoid that muscle loss we just talked about. You must get sufficient protein during your 8-hour eating window. You don't need fancy, expensive supplements to pull this off. You just need consistency.
We've covered the underlying science, from the Nobel Prize-winning biological mechanisms to the exact 30-day timeline of cellular adaptation. Now that you're armed with this knowledge, the ball is entirely in your court. If you actually commit to this clean, strict protocol for the next 30 days, you won't just see your hunger totally disappear. You'll trigger a fundamental biological return of cellular vitality. So ask yourself, knowing what you know right now about this built-in defense system, are you finally prepared to press that reset button and let your body clean house?